Greetings, car fanatics. Today I'll be reviewing my uncle's 2007 Corvette Z06. Let's get to the first order of business and see the massive engine that powers this beast. Alright, so this front bonnet is super long. It's pretty cool how it opens. So under the hood, we have a 7-liter V8 that puts out 505 horsepower and 470 foot-pounds of torque. This is a ton of power, particularly for a car that weighs just over 2,100 pounds. So to put this into perspective, my 997 Carrera S has a power to weight ratio of about 8.1 pounds per horsepower. This Corvette, on the other hand, has a power to weight ratio of just 6.2 pounds per horsepower. This is nearly on par with the latest 911 Turbo S. Let's see how the exhaust sounds. Alright, so we know the Z06 is fast. Let's see how the car puts down the power and brings things to a stop. So in the front we have 285, 35, 18 Michelin Pilot Sport all-season tires. These definitely aren't the original tires. I believe the original tires are 275 in width. So we do have a little bit of extra grip in the front. To get this car to a stop, we have 6-piston brake calipers in the front, mated to 14-inch brake rotors. Now let's take a look at the rear end. So we have some massive tires to put down all the power to the ground. We have 345, 30, 19 Michelin Pilot Sport tires. These are again oversized tires. The original tires on this car are 325. For the brakes, we have 4-pot calipers in the back, mated to 13.4-inch rotors. Alright, so enough about the technical stuff. Let's go ahead and take a look at the interior. So getting into the car, you don't have a normal door handle, but instead you just press this button behind the door to get in. Looking at the interior, it's overall pretty plain, and it doesn't feel particularly upscale. It just feels like a normal American car. I guess this is the kind of stereotype behind Corvettes and other American cars of this era. Of course, the new Corvettes have a much better interior than this. So looking at the gauge cluster, we see the car goes up to 200 miles per hour. I don't doubt this car could get very close to 200 miles per hour, if not over 200 miles per hour, given the power to weight ratio. The center console is very dated looking and very plain Jane. You just have a basic radio with a CD player, nothing fancy. In terms of the shifter, I actually like the way the shifter feels. You have very precise and solid filling shifts. We'll go ahead and do a test drive afterwards and actually see how it feels to road through the gears. Now the car does have a few odd things. Look at this e-brake. It just kind of jets up into the air and is a very short lever. Additionally, to get out of the car, you don't have a normal door handle. Instead, you have the door handle on the floor, almost like you're pulling a trunk latch. But you do that, you pull it up, and that opens the door and lets you out. Let's move on to the trunk space. In the back, there's actually pretty decent room for a sports car. You have this wide open space. You could probably fit, 2 suitcases that aren't too thick into the back without any issues. Alright, now we're going to move on to the fun part. Let's go ahead and take a look at my driving impressions of the car. Okay. Alright, so we're in the 2007 Corvette Z06. 505 horsepower. Initial impressions, the car definitely feels like a sports car. You sit nice and low, but the car has a nice firm ride. I like the way the shifter feels. The clutch pedal has a really long throw, which is kind of it takes a little bit of time to get used to be able to shift smoothly. Yeah, the car definitely has a nice, firm, sporty ride. You can feel all the little bumps in the road, very similar to the 911, but I would say the suspension on this car is a little bit harsher than the 911 suspension. The car even has a cool heads-up display that tells you how fast you're going. And one thing that did catch me off guard, you have your transaxle right here powering the rear wheels, so you can actually feel the heat coming off of it, which is like having your own personal thigh heater. Alright, we're gonna Find a quiet, open stretch of road up here, and we'll do a quick pull. Won't go too fast. We all know this car's really fast. I think if you're a good driver with the right kind of launch, you could probably run an 11-second quarter mile in this car easily. Definitely has the power to weight ratio to be able to do that. This engine's nice and torquey. Alright, so we'll just do one quick wide open throttle pull and maybe just take it up to 2 gears so we don't go too fast here. Alright, so I'm gonna just come to a quick stop. Put it in first. Alright, let's punch it. Wow. So even with the traction control on, the back end was coming out just a little bit on me. Very different experience. You gotta be on top of your game. Alright. This car is a beast in a straight line. Wow. Alright. Let's take it down a notch. It's an adrenaline rush for sure. Yeah, did you feel that when I got in first gear and the back end was kind of coming out? Yeah, I felt it. Traction control kind of kicked in and saved a little bit, but it's surprising that even with the traction control on, it gives you that much play and allows you to get that kind of movement in the car. Great if you're on the track. I guess for unexperienced drivers like myself, it might be a little bit helpful to have a slightly more intrusive traction control system to keep you out of trouble. But that was a really fun ride. Well, there you have it, car fanatics. These are my quick impressions of the 2007 Corvette Z06. Overall, this car is a beast. It has a ton of power. It's fun to drive. It could use a little bit of improvement on the refinement and build quality side, but overall it is a really fun car. Thanks for watching, car fanatics. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Leave any questions or comments below.